This is Ryan from Picket Line and Eep-Oop. Fuck your boss, you're listening to Grit City Punk.
Hey everybody, this is Jeremy, coming at you from Grit City Punk, Tacoma's underground music and variety show.
Welcome back. This is episode 33, and today we have an interview with Ryan from the bands Picket Line and Eep-Oop. We've got a bunch of cool new music to talk about, a kind of abridged concert calendar because there's a couple of important ones that I want to highlight, and I just didn't really have time to look into all the other ones. But you know where to go to shows. You've been doing this a while. First, I want to recap the Fools Fest show at Quality Flea Center. That was an awesome show put on by the Greenhouse. There was so many rad bands there. There was Caps Lock, Fatal Femmes, Roy G. Biv, Maya Experience, and a bunch of others. It was really cool. My first time at Quality Flea Center. I gotta say, top-notch venue. It was a rad show, so thanks to Greenhouse for putting that on, and everybody that I saw there. Really felt like like a family reunion, except with people that you like. And without further ado, let's get into the new music. Okay, so before I get into the new local releases, I just want to bring up a couple of non-local releases. Good friends of mine from Vegas, We Might Die, just dropped an EP. It's called Iced Out. It features their two recent singles, Iced Out and Shit Cycle, as well as a cover of GFY from Anal and the Sniffers, and an incredible cover of Police Truck from Dead Kennedys, which is a staple of their live shows, and they do a really kick-ass version of it. So that's out there, the Iced Out EP from We Might Die. Everybody should definitely go check that out. The band Good Riddance also dropped a new LP recently. It's called Before the World Caves In. Good Riddance, classic Fat Wreck band, been around since the 90s. That LP was pretty cool. Also, the Casualties have a new album, and it's called Detonate. There's a song that features 1876, which is cool. And that Casualties record is really good as well. Co-Defendants, they've been one of my favorite bands since they came out in 2023, I think it was. They just dropped their latest album called Lifers. It's their second album. They actually were in the area over the last weekend. Didn't go to the Spanish Ballroom show because it was on a Thursday, and also, kind of at a crossroads with these guys. The album is good. The album is, I don't think it's as strong as their first record, but it's really good. But these guys have just announced that they are going on a festival cruise type thing headlined by Sublime, and Co-Defendants are among a dozen bands I've never heard of. If anybody's not up to speed on this, the drummer from Sublime is a MAGA supporter. So that in and of itself is pretty suspect. I don't think that a cruise festival headlined by Sublime is really Co-Defendants' crowd. It's not really their audience. This seems more like just a quick paycheck, which I thought those guys were above that, but I guess maybe they're not. I guess everybody's just got to get that bread, huh? So let's just go ahead and get into the new music now, shall we? First up, we've got Tacoma's own emo band, Margaret Sick, with a new single. This one's called Malekith the Black Blade, and you can hear that right now.
maybe you might lie, cry, die. Woo! Remembering what it used to feel like to breathe in the air without any care, suffocated by all the walls inside. Your chest gets tight and all your breath escapes. I'd like to give you mine, but there's no time. Your lungs turned black years back. Now looking back, see all the signs. They told me that you were right. We only have here tonight. I never could understand why you said you make me feel alive.
Next up, we've got local folk punk heroes, the Moray. They recorded live in the studio at Chaos Radio a few weeks ago, and they've since released that performance on Bandcamp as a live album. And it's really good, and you should go check it out. It's a Bandcamp exclusive. And I'm going to play for you now a song from that called McCarthyism.
I'm getting so damn tired of these modern day McCarthyists. They're trying to keep us stuck here in another living hell. It started in the 40s and now it's back again. It's the same old stories, it's the same political trend. The insanity is the tragedy. We get people just like Sean Hannity. They're trying to keep us stuck here in this hell. Just trying to keep us stuck here in this hell. Now everybody worried about the queer scare, and everybody's worried about the Reds. And I get what you say, and you think everyone is either gay or a communist. But now tell me how that relates to your problems. Why is it everybody else's fault? so damn scared of the center and the left that you return to McCarthy's faults. I gotta say, I think your problem is compassion and not worrying about your fellow man. I say we tax the churches and the CEOs and let's get out while we can. There's nothing wrong with us sticking together and trying to take care of our own. Got this community and the rich can't seem to stop taking away our homes. And now everybody's worried about the queer scare and everybody's worried about the Reds. And I get what you're saying, you think everyone is either gay or a communist. See, my friend is trans, the next stop is prison. Same with the other homeless man. If I march against something you did say, well, I'll get thrown back in the can. Well, political lies, political ties. Hey man, can you spare some change? It's alright with me if you can't, cause I see you're just afraid of us breaking free. And now everybody's worried about the queer scare and everybody is worried about the Reds. And I get what you're saying, you think everyone is either gay or a communist. And everybody's worried about the queer scare and everybody's worried about the Reds. And I get what you're saying, you think everyone is either gay or a communist.
Seattle punk hip-hop artist TRUANCY is back with another single. As promised, he's been releasing one every month, first to Bandcamp and then later on to regular streaming services. This one is called Manila, and it is a banger, so check this out. This is TRUANCY with Manila.
2020, I hated you, about as long as I knew you. I cursed your whole existence, the vacuum that we moved through, the barrel they flew through. Infinite excuses about your tone that they used to rebuke you. Thematic tone, vocal tone, both hit crucial. But skin tone, how they choose you. Then use it like schematics to back up why they abuse you. Barely made it out alive. Inside of that time made me question if my life was even useful. Made my fucking screws loose. Questioning your worth, you start unraveling the pretense. Anyone marginalized decided this was a deep end, or made attempts to defend. Radical what they deem them, morally reprehensible. No sense of what is sensible. Living in the fringes, we a target like a reticle. Hands up when they question you. Any sudden moves, you leaving here a vegetable. Hesitance is evident, conditioning is embedded in your melanin. I'm waking in cold sweats, I hear him yelling in.
Mind replays the savagery.
I'm sleeping with my weapons and
Mind belays finality.
I can see the wreckage and
Mind relays reality.
it only hasn't happened yet. Had to put the lines behind me like a passing jet. It's a fucked up system, and we've been living in it. Never dealt with infections, instead we fucked up with it. It's a fucked up system and you can't tell me it isn't. Not when my pop's daddy saw the fucking lynchings. Henry Lee forced out of school cause he was different. 12 years old, bootlegging and swinging wrenches. And he brushed back, kept swinging for the fences. When you put into that position, you either sink or you swim. I got my heart from my mother, I got my hustle from him. Through his legacy, he taught me that I deserve to be me. I never met him, but I hear him every time that I speak. I never met him, but I hear him every time that I speak. Every day is a trip, and every day is a mess. Every day is a gift, and every day is a test. And every day above ground is a chance to progress. And every day, man, I'm just doing my best. Every day is a trip, every day is a mess. Every day is a gift, and every day is a test, and every day above ground is a chance to progress. And every day, man, I'm just doing my best. Trapped with my thoughts, all I can do is reminisce again. Not like the world was different then. Got me thinking back to when my teachers wouldn't teach me, and the whippings couldn't reach me. Made me wanna be in the streets so fucking bad they grew beneath me. Pulled me in knee deep, then surrounded me completely. So I'm not listening what they telling me. 19 with 2 felonies, now a degree don't mean shit. But if I make this beam shift, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Revolving door policies. Honestly, the honesty commonplace was a mockery. Fuck my sleep patterns all up like we ain't have dreams. Then I got COVID and I feel like the universe is telling me in every iteration of my end that I can nearly see with a hold around my neck or hooked up to an IV. Either way, my last words is I can't fucking breathe. And trust and feel like a certainty, at certain times like a promise. But when it's stacked against you purposely, you learn how to profit. I couldn't show the real me, but wouldn't keep a facade up. Wouldn't give me a real job, I had to kill it with product. Couldn't kill him with kindness, so now I'ma kill it with phonics. Line up my currency perfectly, and I'ma kill him with commas. Everybody deserves a chance to turn the world into art. I know I'm more than just my jacket or the sum of my parts. Through what we create, try to summon something to pull us together instead of rip us apart. And take that image to heart. Try to channel some other instance of existence into energy. And when it's in your headphones, the pain's changing the memories. There were times I couldn't speak, and the music the only therapy. There were days I couldn't move, and the music physically carried me. A semblance of camaraderie, normalcy, and a chance to be. All the noise is finally silent when I hear the beat. The whole world is finally silent when I hear the beat. Every day is a trip, every day is a mess. Every day is a gift, and every day is a test. And every day above ground is a chance to progress. And every day, man, I'm just doing my best. Every day is a trip, every day is a mess. Every day is a gift, and every day is a test. And every day above ground is a chance to progress. And every day, man, we just doing our best.
Okay, guys, next up we have Manila Folder coming out of Seattle with their brand new single, Ride.
I need to get my shit together.
And next we have a band called Worms and Dirt. They are a folk punk band from Seattle. Just dropped a brand new single called Fresh Bay Water. And you can hear that right here. Art punk group from Ellensburg called the Black Velvet Band has a new EP, newish. I guess it came out in like February. I just caught wind of it. It's called the Black Velvet EP, and I'm going to play a song for you off of it called Animal.
It's a road through my city. He beat me until I was tame. In school they made me learn about your body, inherent holiness. Oh, you can take it all. Oh, you can take it all. Oh, you can take it all. I love when you chain me between your legs, trembling for a drop of heroin while they dig mass graves. Oh, you can take it all. Oh, you
Tacoma punk band Reaper Punx is back for their first release since 2024. This one is a song called Trump Card, and you can hear it now.
You get fat in background deals where we get dealt. We're all pieces in your game, crown yourself king, look how you ring. We know that we'll never win because that trump card's up and get out. Now the source has been decimated. Incorporated, you're killing people like it's a religion. Join up for genocide, everyone's a fucking traitor.
Jody Ellen and Tara Chung have put out a new single with a new group that they are starting called the Sirens. They just had their debut show in Olympia last Thursday. This is their debut single. It's called Reverberation, and it features our homie Anya from Kapala on some backup harsh vocals. Really cool that they got her in on that. So this is called Reverberation from the brand new band called the Sirens.
My head still reverberates. I took a hit and saved the bullet case. You're a drug. Now I'm numb. I try to stop but you just permeate. You left me here in this chaotic state. You're addicting, and I'm sinking. I'm no good for you. Keep it reverberates. Reverberations, reverberations. Whoa, we keep on coming back when nothing's changed. We keep repeating that I'm gonna change. Reverberations, reverberations. You're breaking me down over again. I need you out of my head. I took a hit and saved the bullet case. Saved the bullet case. You're no good for me, no good for me. You're no good for me, no good for me. You're breaking me down over again. I need you out of my head.
Seattle alt-rock band All Friends Here have put out a new album. The album is called I Hate to Wait, and here is a song called Space of Me.
Picture growing hard, running the tip of my finger across, passing, tracing the landscape. Outline, hedges border, peaks and valleys, roughness, sandpaper, I imagine. And the hate that you built, the space of me, in the simplest ways, easy like me. I thought that I'd feel the shape of you, and I do every night. But I don't laugh like we used to, like we used to, like we used to. I take on carrying people I don't know. Instantly, time flies, going through the window. You kiss me at 3 a.m. and I'm worried I'll never see you again. Oh well. Tensions elastic, and it's been a good while building, and I still don't know legacy. I never thought I'd feel the shape of you. Now I know, and I don't know what I'll do, what I'll do.
Tacoma Punx, The Indicted, are back with another great single. This one just dropped, and it is called Father's Sons.
Where were you when the walls came down? I was alone and nowhere to be found. Forced out before I knew who I was. On the streets with no one left to trust, doing time with other broken souls, with broken dreams and broken hopes. With the monsters you created, mistakes will not be repeated, because we're smarter than you know. We're not our father's sons, no longer the unfortunate ones. If we're dead, we'll really in hell. Walk through the fire, reclaim ourselves. We're not our father's sons, no longer the unfortunate ones. If we're dead, we'll reign in hell. Walk the fire, reclaim just ourselves. Live through the abuse and broken bombs, mother, fathers, childhood horrors. They'll tell us our life's been written, that we'll never be more than victims. Look at us, now we're standing taller. Brothers, sisters, one another. Killing ourselves, live no more. Raise the future to even a score.
And finally, we've been hyping this one up for a while. This is Tacoma hardcore band Wake of Humanity. They released their new album called Distress Signal. Previously played a few singles from it. The album is out now. You can buy a vinyl from New Age Records. It's on Bandcamp. It's streaming everywhere. The album is called Distress Signals. And this song is called Mastering the Fine Art of Self-Annihilation.
still love in this house. The fabric's been torn, never to be mended. This is how it was meant to be. This is how it'll end. This is how we all die. Take everything. It's over now. 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 Everything.
My name is Ryan. I sing in a band called Picket Line, and I play guitar in a band called Eep-Oop.
How did you get into punk music?
My older brother. So he was trying to be like his best friend's older brother, and so him and his best friend were getting into punk. And my older brother, gate kept it from me for a while, and I've gotten to tell this story a few times lately. And I love my brother. We have a great relationship, but he did gatekeep punk from me. And there was a time where I saw he had a stranger newspaper sitting out, and I saw that the Misfits were coming. And I asked him if he was going to go, and he was like, "Nah." And I was like, "You wear a Misfits shirt, 4 out of the 5 school days. You're not going to go see this band." And then so he gave me a bunch of Misfits CDs, and it was all the Michael Graves stuff. And I'm like, this is the stuff you listen to? This fucking sucks. And so yeah, he gate kept punk for me for a little bit. So I actually got into like metal, and I knew who Danzig was before I knew Danzig was part of the Misfits. So my brother's trying to be like his best friend's older brother, and I was trying to be like my older brother. That's how I got into punk, and I got a little more into hardcore. So that's where we kind of separate and have our own independence. But that's how I got into it.
I am 100% sure that I knew who Danzig was and knew some of his songs way before I ever actually heard the Misfits. I think for the longest time when I was a kid, like I just saw the skull, knew that the Misfits were like a horror punk band, had heard like the Metallica versions of their songs, had heard Danzig, and had absolutely no other connection to the Misfits until way, way later.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. The Michael Graves shit sucks ass.
Sucks. And like there's people and I can't really tell them by name, but there's people like just in our scene that's like, man, I kind of mess with this Michael Graves song, and I'm just like, no, just stop it.
Yeah,
you're making yourself look bad. You're losing respect in my book.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's not just that the music is bad; it's also like the dude's a piece of shit.
Oh man, the worst.
Absolute worst. Were you ever a music student?
No, I can't read music. I've honestly never tried. I wanted to pick up music in high school because, again, brothers of punk. He's playing bass. He's in a band. Kind of wanting to be like him. My parents said you can't be going to school, playing soccer, and having a job and trying to play bass. You're barely passing high school. That's a privilege. Right. I kind of disagree with them, but it was my best friend growing up. Right after high school, he wanted to start a band, and he was a guitar player, so he wanted a bass player. So he just said, here's my bass. This is how we're gonna play it. And coincidentally enough, the first song I ever learned was Last Caress by the Misfits.
Nice. What does punk mean to you?
Shit. You know what? I knew this question was coming. Um,
It's my signature question.
I know. I've been writing a list of bands, local bands that I wanted to mention, and I forgot about this question. I heard a interview with Brett Garowitz recently, and he said that punk. He said it was just like making art without permission,
Mhm.
and I kind of really loved that definition of it.
Yeah.
You know, I understand people. I mean, I do think punk is political. It's political for me. It's always been a political thing for me, but it's kind of one of those things. Like in general, I don't really want to put a definition on what like punk can mean to other people. So yeah, but I do really like the definition of not asking permission to make something.
Yeah. That kind of goes along with the whole DIY aspect of punk is you're not sitting around waiting for somebody to give you the permission or give you the tools or the resources to make your art. You're just going to find a way and do it yourself because you have to.
It's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And sometimes it takes you in your late 30s to realize that that's a good saying to live by.
Yeah.
I think for me, I was always a very timid kid into a timid young adult, and yeah, it was until my mid 30s that I think I finally was like, you know what, I don't want to be the person who keeps on having an idea, and I'm just talking about like Picket Line in general.
Yeah.
Like, I've had the idea of Picket Line for a long time, and I didn't want to keep on telling people, oh, I have this idea for a band. It was more just like, I gotta do this.
Yeah. And for some people, it takes until they're in their 40s.
It does.
Before they're fully realized into their true potential.
Yeah.
So speaking of Picket Line, how did Picket Line come together?
So my last band was kind of put to a halt. It wasn't very much an active band. It was just me and my friend making music. And that came to an end, and I was still going to shows, and I saw a couple bands that I was like, you know what, I don't think I'm done making music, and I definitely did want to start actually writing lyrics and performing them. I've never done that before, and it was like I said, in your late 30s, you finally rip off the Band-Aid and do it. So we used to always record with Scott, so I knew Scott well, and so I told him, I think I went in and demoed like 5 songs just with music, and 4 out of those 5 songs were really bad, and I remember trying to put lyrics to, like, 4 out of 5 of them are just like, man, these are horrible. But when I really wanted to start this idea of Picket Line, I pretty much changed a lot of things. Went back into the studio. I did for that first demo. I did everything except for drums, and Scott did the drums. I remembered when it came time to finally do the vocals, I was in. If anyone has ever been to Scott's studio, so this is for the Seattle music scene. It's separated from Scott. He can't see you. It's in a different room. And I am just trembling before my first lyrics come out. And then I put down the lyrics for a song called "Worth More Alive." I think that was the first song we did, and yeah, ever since that, I've kind of had I'm absolutely always nervous every time I perform or every time I record or share a song, but I can't wait to do it again as soon as I'm done.
Yeah.
And I guess too, like, I mean, now Picket Line is not just me and Scott anymore. Like, I I shared the demo with a handful of friends. I think the first one was Brian, who is my bass player. He plays in Land of Wolves, and I'm pretty sure I just said like, "Hey man, like check this out. This is something new I'm working on." And he was like, "Dude, if you want to play shows, you need please think of me when you need a bass player." And I was still on the fence if we were going to do anything. Sent it to my really good friend Ray. Him and his wife listened to it, and they were like, "Who'd you get to sing?" And I was like, "Dude, like I told you, everything is me except for the drums." He hopped on lead guitar, and then I found our rhythm guitar player, Andrew, at a show. We were at a Rick's show at the Clubhouse. He's first and foremost like a phenomenal drummer, but he said, he was like, "Dude, I'm getting into guitar. I just want to play kind of rhythm guitar and be in a band." And I was like, "All right, man. Well, I just recorded a demo and I'm wanting to start a band, and here it is." And a couple weeks later, he was in. And then Scott was the last, band member to commit, and he said, I can only do once a month. And I was like, "That's fine." And he said the first and foremost thing, if I'm not having fun, I'm not doing this. So I think that translates into, I think especially my social media skills is that I think we are a fun band, but then we just are politically charged.
Like the RFK sticker.
Yeah.
Fucking love that.
If anyone on here doesn't know, I made some stickers recently that has Thomas the Train Engine, and the word bubble says, "Get it, loser. We're going to beat up RFK."
Yep, it's brilliant. It's actually on my fridge in my kitchen.
Great. There were a couple other slogans I had. My girlfriend had questions about one, so I was like, I don't want to. You have to think of people's first impressions, and I think like that was to the point. It was funny, and also too. I told Ray. Ray was our lead guitar player. He is moved on. He is actually moving out of state pretty soon, and Jeff from Shamebanger is now stepping in. So I got two Shamebanger.
You got two Shamebangers. You got half a Shamebanger.
Half a Shamebanger. I told Rowan last time. I saw him that they can start singing and I can just watch Picket Line next.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Has Picket Line ever played a show with Shamebanger?
Yeah, I want to say it was our third show. Ro was booking a show for a band called AMOD. I think now they're called like Dry Fire or something. They're from Colorado. And it was supposed to be it was a show just with more political bands, and so she asked Picket Line to play. And then one of AMOD's members got COVID right before they were supposed to fly in, so they had to cancel. And that's actually when I got Eep-Oop to play a show, and then we've been friends ever since. And now I'm in Eep-Oop.
So for context, Picket Line, you started that in what, late 2024?
I think I recorded the demo in August of 2024.
And then that dropped, I want to say that was October?
I think it was October. I want to say it was like October 7th of 2024, yeah.
And then the next release, True Blue, that was like right after that, right?
Yeah,
December.
So I had the 4 songs from the demo, and that's where I formed the band around to like start having practice. I was fine just doing like 4 songs and maybe a cover for a set, but I remember specifically Brian said, he's like, "Dude, I have a wife and a kid, and I'm not gonna leave home for a 12-minute set." and I giggled, and I was like, "Fine, I'll write more songs." And luckily, like I had the music, and visited Scott like a week later after that interaction, and Got 3 more songs done, and then just to kind of keep momentum, as a new band, I wanted, because we weren't playing shows, we weren't necessarily around long enough to be offered shows at that time. I wanted to keep momentum up, so released the True Blue EP online.
Now that one was recorded with the band, right?
No, that one was still with just me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just for timing's sake. At that point, it was just easier for me to go in with Scott and bang it out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What has been a favorite experience so far regarding Picket Line?
A couple cool experiences just in like the first year of opening it up for touring bands, but one of the bands I saw that got me to really say like I want to make sure I'm in a band again and I want to be singing it's a French Canadian band called Bet Normay, and they were playing the Clubhouse in Seattle, and I want to say this is May of 2024, so we're looking at 2 years ago. And it was if anyone's been to the Clubhouse in the basement, it's crammed. It was such a good show. And ever since I started Picket Line, I've kind of kept in contact with that band saying like, hey guys, like, I started this band after seeing you guys. You made such an impression on me. And the lead singer Dan is like always kept in contact and saying like, how's Picket Line going and what are the new songs? And they played Seattle like 2 nights ago at Washington Hall with Angel Dust, but in December of 2025 they played Black Lodge, and they requested us to open. So that
awesome.
was a cool full circle, and it was a time like I told you, Scott and like Brian, they wanted to just kind of commit to Picket Line playing once a month. And 2025, I think we played like 16 shows. So that's obviously more than
once a month.
Once a month. But it was one of those things. I think we were all kind of packed during that, packed personal schedule wise during that Bet Normay show in December. And I pretty much told the guys, I was like, guys, if this band didn't exist, Picket Line wouldn't exist. So if we could do this, please, like, let's do it. And luckily it's a weekday, so it didn't eat into too much like family time. But yeah, that was like an experience that I think really helped with my validation is that I'm doing good writing and playing and everything.
So let's talk about Eep-Oop.
Yeah.
How did that band form, and how did you become involved in it? Because you're just recently involved in that band, right? That's already been a thing outside of your involvement for a while, right?
Yeah, so I joined, I want to say in June of 2025. It might be, yeah, it was June. My first shows with them were Wenatchee and Spokane in June of 2025. I mean, I like pop punk, and I met Steve through our mutual friend Ray, who used to be in Picket Line, and we met a couple times, and then I found out he was in a pop punk band, so I searched on streaming services, heard him, and I was like, that's pretty cool, and I think I reached out to him. Me and him were talking, and then I went to a couple shows, and we became friends, I think, pretty quick. Both of us are very cynical, and so I think that we gravitated towards that, and then met the rest of the band, and like pretty instantly just became all like good friends. I would say. They might say something different. And then they got a new drummer at one point, and the drummer said, hey, have you ever thought about adding a second guitar player? And Steve gave me a text because he knew I wanted to play more than what Picket Line could do. And he said to me, he was like, this, it has to be the right fit for us, just like dynamic wise, like friendship wise. We're a fun band. We don't want to do this with someone who's not fun and we're cool with. So he's like, at this point, this offer is only going to you. If you say no, it's not like we're going to go find another person. And so like that felt good. And I thought it would kind of it would fulfill like my music needs in a way that Picket Line wasn't, just in like the super fun aspect. I love the people in Picket Line. They're my really best friends. Eep-Oop is on another level of like we will laugh so fucking hard all the time. Practice is like so little practice and so much just laughing with each other.
And guitars.
And guitars. Amy's awesome.
Yeah, that was one thing that stood out to me immediately about Eep-Oop was, holy shit, there's some keyboards happening here, and I saw that it was an actual guitar, and that's badass.
Yes. And like so I want to say they formed. Steve's had some of those songs for like 10 years, and he's been playing them in like a few different bands. But I think in Seattle, they were around for pretty much about like a year and a half, maybe 2 years before I joined. And Amy came in about a year before I did. And I'll say it on here, like, yeah, like Steve is our leader, but without Amy, that band sucks.
Yeah. There's definitely I haven't seen Eep-Oop live, but just from listening to the record, it's definitely a whole dynamic between the two of them that I think if either one was removed, it wouldn't be the same band. It wouldn't be nearly as good.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your songwriting process. You mentioned that you pretty much had music tracks and then were pretty hesitant about putting lyrics on there yourself or putting vocals on. How was the actual writing process of the songs? Do you start with lyrics? Do you start with music? What inspires you?
Yeah, so I'm primarily like a music writer, not a lyricist. Like I feel pretty confident, especially in like the Picket Line genre of like oi and like hardcore and punk, that if you give me a guitar, I feel like I can write a fairly good song in like an hour. And then everything else that comes is lyrics. And sometimes I think when I write music, I could be like thinking of something, like just like it's like, I don't know, I'm pissed off about this, so I'm just gonna be like riffing real hard. So I'll try to maybe gear my lyrics towards that, and I'll start writing lyrics and I'll probably hate them in a couple days, if not a couple hours, and I'll start all over again and repeat that process. And sometimes I'm taking one song and just putting it to a whole different musical song because it fits better there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think, and like I told you, like just I finally had the confidence, I think, to write lyrics, and like I don't have much confidence in that. it's still such a hurdle for me to pass. But I think one thing, I think in my style of lyric writing is like I kind of want to be direct, and I don't really want to. I don't want to be too poetic. Because I think my goal with Picket Line was not to be a band that solves problems. We just want people to know it's like, oh, this guy is pissed off, and I'm not insane for being pissed off all the time. Like,
Yeah.
So I'm more just saying like you're not insane for thinking this world is horrible and disgusting, and you're just a cog in the system. Yeah, I'm not here to solve problems or paint pictures of like a deeper meaning in the capitalist system. I'm just here to just tell you're not insane for thinking all this stuff.
Yeah. It's a different kind of take on art and using punk music as an art form, to not necessarily be poetic or try to have a deeper meaning, which is what most people would think with art is like, oh, it's supposed to have a deeper meaning. Oh, it's supposed to make you read between the lines and think or whatever. But usually in the sphere of punk and hardcore music, like No, that's not really the point. The point is to be as direct as possible so that there's no gray area. It's, look, this guy is pissed because of this, and I am also pissed because of this and this. So now I'm listening to it, and instead of just going into a spiral of being pissed and depressed all the time, it's actually making me feel better because somebody else is mad about the same thing and they're yelling about it.
Yeah, yeah. And also too, like, I frame, with the band Picket Line, I frame a lot of stuff around, class consciousness and class war and everything. But like, some of these songs I wrote are very personal dilemmas, and I've kind of just framed it in a class struggle concept. Yeah, so I mean, it's one of those things. Like, I want people to take my lyrics and feel camaraderie with just being pissed off with me, and maybe you can't relate directly to the stuff I'm singing about, but I hope you're pissed off. I don't get how you can be living in America right now and not be pissed off. So let's be pissed. Let's be pissed off together, and let's also be friends.
Yeah, be pissed with purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the deal with Mind Eraser Records? I was looking at your catalog on Bandcamp and got through some rabbit holes and found Mind Eraser, and like the digital albums are selling for like $1,000, and like, what's going on with that?
So when I did the Picket Line demo, and I wanted to put it out on some sort of physical media just for myself, just so like I made sure that I had something to hold in accomplishment if this band never happened. And so one of my best friends, Jeff, he lives down in California, and he was one of the first people like I shared the idea with, and he heard everything, and he was like, "Hey, if you want to do this, let's just create a label with it. It'll look better if you're released on a label." And so that's how Mind Eraser Records started, and just for optics, we released a Spanish band's tape as well called Mujeres, and then after that we did the Coolers from Tacoma. Actually, the Coolers came out before Mujeres, but Mujeres has they're the second release technically because we agreed to that first. And then we did Picket Line's new EP, and we did Eep-Oop's album Sorry on cassette too. And we're the Picket Line album by vinyl record will be on Mind Eraser as well.
So that's something that kind of was a big thing for me and you to do this interview, and it hasn't come up yet. The Picket Line record.
Yep.
Let's talk about the Picket Line record, because that is releasing. Is that releasing April 15th, April 17th?
17th, yes.
17th.
Yeah.
Okay, so from when this airs, that will be just a few days away, like the same week.
All right, cool.
Is the record going to be on streaming as well, or is it just a physical release of the record?
No, I'll put it all to streaming. We'll put it all to streaming. I want to say the day, the 17th. We do it sometime in that week. But the only thing, because I've released a lot of stuff just on Bandcamp, just to kind of keep it away from like the actual main record release. So the week of, everything will be somewhere on streaming services. I don't know exactly where. I haven't done all the uploading everywhere yet, but yeah. So really, if you've heard our entire catalog, the 11 songs that have been on Bandcamp, that's going to be the record plus one new one that we haven't. We've played live a couple times, but we have not shared it on Bandcamp, and that's called I Hate Therefore I Am.
Yeah, so this was something that I didn't really realize until a couple days ago when I was looking further into your Bandcamp page and looking at the credits on each album, roughly half of this record now was from early sessions that was just you and Scott, and then the other half with the band. Is that
Yeah,
right?
I mean, yeah, for the most part. Brian has now like laid bass tracks to everything. Besides the unreleased song, it's still me doing both guitars and Scott on drums. So the new song that hasn't been released yet, that's the first song with absolutely everyone who's in the band.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Besides Jeff, but we'll get Jeff on something. We'll get Jeff on something soon.
Yeah. So the album is called Dead to Me.
Yep.
And you're going to do a vinyl release. Are those going to be just pre-orders now for the 17th, or is it actually going to be available on the 17th?
We have a record release show on the 17th, and fingers crossed that we get some copies to sell during that time. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But if not, we'll have them in the next week. It's not that I want to do pre-orders. I'm not against pre-orders, but I'm doing so much other stuff right now to upload that onto Bandcamp for people to start doing that. I'm sure some people would say it's not hard. I don't know. For me, I'm for a 41-year-old dyslexic, sometimes time gets away from me faster and I get intimidated about doing stuff like that.
That's totally fair.
Yeah.
So what cities have you played with Picket Line, and what are your favorite venues?
We have played Seattle. We played the greater Seattle area, so Seattle, Everett, Tacoma, and the Tukwila area with Lucky Liquor, and we played Portland at the end of last year. Portland was really cool. I mean, we had a good turnout, and I usually like to, when I book a show, I usually try to have it a little bit of mixed bill. And so we played with a ska band and kind of a shoegazy band called Griefer. It was Griefer and Star 69, and so that was cool for our first show in Portland. And then honestly, one of our better shows, and me and you talked about it before this kicked off, about Everett being awesome. We played a show at the end of January in Everett, and it was really popping off. Kids up there need something to do, and thankfully bands like Turnstile are making hardcore something that kids want to go to and be a part of. So yeah, people can hate on Turnstile. I mean, I get it, but also I want to say hardcore is thriving right now because of bands like that. So
yeah, absolutely. Between them and like Scowl, which is one of my favorite hardcore bands,
100%. Yeah,
bringing it to a more wide audience while not giving up the principles or betraying what the movement and culture is all about.
100%. Yeah.
Although some people would argue, and they do loudly on Reddit, and I've seen it. Yeah. Oh, why is hardcore so political now? Oh, geez.
Yeah, I wish people could just sometimes be just an observer. You don't have to have an opinion. And just observe. It's fine.
Yeah. But then, everybody has the internet, and a lot of people like to spew their opinions. I mean, hey, I'm one of them. I'm right here on the internet, voicing my opinions, but my opinions are right.
Hell yeah, they are.
And can I just say really quick, Star 69 is an amazing band name.
Isn't it?
Yes.
When
I
I
don't know,
met,
kids might not know the reference, but
yeah.
back in the day, before caller ID, before everybody had cell phones, like if somebody called you, you didn't know who it was. You would just answer and try to figure it out.
Yeah.
And yeah, and the phone company came up with this amazing service that you can redial the last person that called you by pushing *69. So if somebody prank called you, you can find them out.
And it's a cool story on how that band, like how I started talking to that band. Me and my best friend went down to Portland to go see Drain and Terror, and I was wearing a Punitive Damage sweatshirt, and this tall guy named Benny was also wearing a Punitive Damage sweatshirt, and we said like, "Hey man, cool sweatshirt, dude." We got to talking. I told him, my band, I think, is coming down to Portland in a couple months, and then he's like, "Oh, cool, man. I play in a band too," and I make a joke. I kind of made a joke to him one time, like I feel like he was embarrassed to tell me he was in a ska band because we were at a hardcore show,
right?
And so I reached out to him, and so like punk and hardcore is so cool like that you can just like get a friendship and a bond just by a shirt.
Yeah. Are you still there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can now. You dropped for a minute.
Oh, okay.
So bonding over a shirt.
Yeah.
This was the last I heard.
Yeah, I think that was the last thing I said. You're good.
Okay. So speaking of punk and hardcore and bonding over bands on your shirts, what other kind of genres are you into, and what are some of your favorite bands right now?
I mean, I'm into a lot of like just I like emo. I like some pop punk. I like some shoegaze bands. I hate to sound cliche in saying I'm all over the place, but I am kind of all over the place. But I do always like gravitate towards punk and hardcore. Yeah. There's a new band. I actually booked them for an Everett show next week. Sorry, they're not new, but they're from San Diego. They're called Negative Blast. They're hardcore. They don't really have breakdowns, so it's very much like punk rock driven. Mm-hmm. There's a band from San Francisco called Mutt, which is MUTT. I think it has periods in between each letter. They're really good. They're kind of in that same genre. Sweat, who's from LA, they're good. A huge inspiration for Picket Line. Even people who listen to it, I think, understand, but on that, they probably think it's a little weird. But I listen to a lot of French oi and French hardcore. There's a band called Syndrome 81. To me, they're just like the best band right now. Like the lead guitar effect that we have in Picket Line was like directly from them.
Okay, it sounds very synthesizer like.
Yeah.
A lot of sustain, a lot of warble.
Yeah, there's a band called Kron from France that I really like. A band called Distance from France, and yeah, so I like a lot of stuff in like different languages. There's another band. So I get a whole like friendship just off a shirt again. There's a band in Spain called Crim, CRIM. They sing in Catalonian. They're from Barcelona, and I was at an Agent Orange show. This was like 2017, 18 or something. I forget. They were playing with the Drowns. I remember that. But there was a guy with a Crim shirt, and I look over to my friend Tyler, and I was like, dude, there is not a single person in Seattle that knows who Crim is outside of me and you. I need to know who that kid is. And it turns out he was from Spain. He was in town for a year as like a booth as a exchange teacher for a private school to teach kids Spanish. And his name's Victor. And me and him, so we had a year just chilling, going to shows. We went to a bunch of Sounders game. We went on hikes, and we still talk to each other. He's back in Spain now, but I got to see Krim after he left, I believe. Yeah, he went back to Spain. I got to see Krim at Punk Rock Bowling, and I go to the merch table, and I'm pretty sure it's only the drummer who kind of like speaks like fluent enough English to talk to someone. And I told him just that story, and he was just like, yeah, like Victor's hit us up too, and like told us that exact same story. That's so cool.
That's fucking rad.
Yeah.
So what about local bands? Shout out some local bands.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta shout out, everyone else's band in Picket Line. So, Scott and Jeff are in Shamebanger. Scott's also in Very Serious. Brian is in Land of Wolves. Andrew is in Drugi in Bonachance. And Ray, who is not in the band anymore, but he does Famous Last Words. And I'm an Eep-Oop. So, huge shout out to those. I mean, like, truly, Picket Line wouldn't exist, especially without Game Banger, especially with Scott's connection. And then Ro is so awesome. So I did get a kick in my ass seeing Rowan perform. So
yeah, huge same.
Yeah. For a conversation I had with Elise last week, I do have to mention Dead Streets. I am obligated. But those are our homies.
Mm-hmm.
We love them. The Coolers, Chopping Block, Bribed, who I don't think all of them are from Tacoma. I just know the drummer's from Tacoma. You should book them on one of your shows. They have some all age.
They're a hardcore band too, right?
Yeah. I think when it comes to Seattle, Bribed is like a very similar band to Picket Line, I would say.
Okay. I want to say I've seen Bribe and heard them on like a comp, like one of the Northwest hardcore comps, probably.
Okay.
I could be wrong on that.
Masters of War are my homies up here. Dry Socket.
God, I fucking love Dry Socket. I said Scowl was one of my favorite hardcore bands. I think they're like just below Dry Socket.
Their new album, I think, just released yesterday or the day before, and I haven't heard it.
Me neither. Just the singles. I have it saved. I just, when things come out on a weekend, like I do 99% of my music listening at work on headphones.
Yeah.
And so when Friday releases suck because it's like, oh, cool, new album. I'm like, yeah, I probably won't hear it until Monday.
You're not hearing it for 3 or 4 days.
Right. Yeah. Definitely Dry Socket is incredible.
Yeah, shout out to Casey, the bass player. I'm homies. Bugs. Bugs is so cool. Doug, the lead singer's coolest dude. I kind of think they're a very underrated band for the Seattle area. But yeah, Bugs definitely. Homies in No More Death Stars, Quitting Time, Someone's Daughter, and Puppy Feet.
Someone's Daughter are also very cool.
Oh, great. There's also a band. I don't know these people, and I haven't played a show with them yet. Eep-Oop is playing a show with them in May, but there's a band called Birds with Arms, and I love them. They're a little jazzy. I think they're like, their Bandcamp description says they sound like a kind of a punk version of an anime soundtrack. And I do get that when I hear it, but it's I'm going to tell you, everyone go listen to Birds with Arms. They're phenomenal.
Birds with Arms. That's a crazy name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Besides music, what else are you into? What are some of your other passions?
Um, if I'm big into sci-fi. I'm a big Trekkie.
Word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big DS9, Deep Space Nine fan.
DS9 is so underrated. So many people hate on that, but and there's a few episodes that are just like, what the fuck is this? But most of it is very
if
good.
you have 5 seasons of old network television, and if you have some weird episodes, that's so minuscule.
Yeah.
In
When you have
the
20 episodes in a season.
Yeah, 20 to 26 episodes. DS9, like, there's the big contingent of, Star Wars versus Star Trek.
Yeah.
It's Star Trek all day for me. It's because it's space politics, it's
Right.
diplomacy, it's exploration,
Yeah.
and it's great. I absolutely
Yeah.
love it. And DS9 did all that so well.
Yeah, and the also the character studies in that are really good, and just the fact that it's a stationary place compared to the other Star Treks, just puts a different, like, it's a lot more world building somehow than the ships that go exploring. I don't know if that makes sense, but somehow they do that.
I know when it started, there was, this is before, the big internet forums happened, but I know there was a lot of people that said it was like BS that you were going to have a Star Trek with a stationary vessel.
Yeah.
But I do agree, like, you couldn't have DS9 before the original series and the Next Generation because you needed all that world building. But DS9 solidified just all the space politics that is the purpose of the show to me.
Yeah, 100%. And the idea of Star Wars versus Star Trek is always so weird to me because I like both a lot. Like, I was a Star Trek fan way before I was a Star Wars fan. But like, Star Wars has this like epic mythical kind of storytelling to it, where it's like, things are destined to happen, and like there's magic, and it's the hero's journey. So there's a lot of cool like literary stuff to it that I'm really into, and I like the idea of hope and good prevailing. It's an absolute hero, like, fairy tale, and that's cool as fuck, and I love that. But Star Trek is so much more grounded in like realistic hope, like actual like real world, like, hey, if we put all of our bullshit aside and we eliminate wars, we eliminate individual nation states, we eliminate capitalism, this is what we can achieve as a people. We can go out in space and we can fucking colonize out in space. We could explore. We could have a society that doesn't measure worth by your productivity. I don't know. It's pretty much a pipe dream, but at the same time, like, it's. But
we have a glimpse, and it's such a cool show. I love the world of Star Trek. I will say, like, I do have a Star Wars tattoo, but I'm hard on being a Trekkie more. What you said about Star Wars and how, like, there's this epicness of it, and I'm really not. I think as I grown older, like, I just don't really like stories that have to continue, but every segment is how it's going to save the universe or save the world. Like, you did this the very first time, the very first mission. Like, I need to see something different. Please show me just a solitary, like, write good enough characters and good enough stories that I don't have to rely on the world being saved.
Right. Yeah, and that's what Star Trek does very well. Is some episodes are just literally like, they're on the holodeck for an episode.
Yeah, all the ones with, like, Moriarty trying to get out of the holodeck.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And then, like, Voyager, they're just trying to get home. That's such a simple plot, and they're not saving the universe, they're not saving the world, they're just trying to get the hell back home.
Yeah, that's the objective, and then you get to meet all these characters and get attached to these characters rather than them trying to save the universe every season. But I will say, there's so much discord about like new Star Trek being woke, and that's why it sucks. I'll say, like, I kind of just think it sucks just because of that aspect, because like they're now just trying to save the universe every season.
Yeah.
I do watch new Star Trek, but like it's like I thought Strange New Worlds was good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that one.
I thought the first season of Discovery I think was really good, and then it pretty much like immediately lost me after that.
Yeah, that one was a bit weird for me to get into. Like, I liked a lot of aspects of it, but like the whole like fungus driven warp drive alternative jumping system was just like, it didn't fit canonically with everything else in my head anyways. It was just, it felt way too detached.
Yeah. The Section 31 movie was pretty unwatchable.
I haven't seen it yet.
I don't recommend it.
Okay.
And then I loved Lower Decks because it was just fan service.
Yeah. In like the most ridiculous way possible. I haven't watched a lot of that, only a few episodes, but I enjoyed it. It was fun.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's one you don't have to be glued to it, and I love that. And I watched the first episode of Starfleet Academy, but to be honest, I thought it sucked. But I don't know. Well, maybe we'll give it a try.
Haven't got into that one yet. It's on the list. But yeah, like every night when we go to bed, it's like we turn on a Star Trek. It doesn't matter which one, with DS9 or Voyager or Enterprise, and it's just a random episode, and that's just like comfort, like winding down, relaxing.
Yeah. Miles O'Brien, that's my guy. Fellow Union guy.
Yep.
Love Miles O'Brien. Paul Meany, who's the actor who portrays him, is super cool too. Yeah, he has a lot of good work. I encourage everyone to get into him. I was gonna say, like, one of the reasons I'm into sci-fi, I think I mentioned earlier that I'm a 40-year-old dyslexic, but short sci-fi short stories by like Ray Bradbury. They'll make you feel like a reader if you read a 12-page short story, sci-fi short story. So that was another like thing with sci-fi. It's very you can grasp it really easy.
Yeah. And just real quick, I have to put in my 2 cents that Star Trek always has been woke. I don't know what the people are fucking talking about.
Yeah, 100% always has been woke.
From day one.
The original series was the wokest shit ever, and it was amazing.
Yeah. One of the first ever like black leading characters in a mixed show, where it wasn't just a black show, it was a sci-fi show. And their whole crew, I mean, you had an Asian, you had an alien, you had a black person, a black woman at that, who was in a position of power, which is just absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
and it's anti-capitalist.
Yeah, and you have Captain Kirk, who is ready to go just bugger anything in the solar system. He's down to fuck.
Yeah. Looking at other Star Trek series, like you look at Kirk, you're like, man, he is like the shittiest captain. Like, what the fuck? this guy did this guy receive no training or what?
Yeah, absolutely none. Yeah.
But then you watch the J.J. Abrams Star Trek, and then you realize, oh no, actually William Shatner's Kirk in the original series was actually pretty damn cool. This one sucks.
Yeah, like I liked the first movie. The second movie was absolute trash because they screwed up Khan.
Yeah.
And then the third movie was good, but Simon Pegg did, I think, a majority of that one.
I don't even think I watched the third one. The second one was so bad, I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah,
No.
But if we stay on sci-fi for one more second, the new song that hasn't been released yet, it's called "I Hate Therefore I Am." It's based on a short story. A sci-fi short story. I can't think of the author's name, but it's called "I Have No Mouth. I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream." And it's about this AI machine that keeps the last handful of humans alive just to torture because it hates the human race so much. And there's a big monologue in it by the AI machine because the last living human says like all you do is hate, and the AI machine said like hate is such a minuscule word, and if you said it over and over again for an eternity, it wouldn't amount to really anything with how much I hate the human race for like introducing me to this world, yet I can't really participate in it. And so I think I wrote that song. I was planning on writing a song when I even like heard the title of it. I was like, that title goes so hard. And I was able to do it. So I'm really happy with that song, and it's the first song I think I've written in that style of like, here's a story and I'm gonna kind of take on one of the characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that gives me some context.
Yeah.
Scary context.
Yeah, it's a great story. I highly recommend it.
Yeah. So what's next for Picket Line? We've got the record coming out this week. You got shows booked for the summer?
Yeah. Next, we got the record coming out next month. Record comes out on this April 17th, and then we go on a short tour after that. It's going to be April 22nd to the 26th, and we're going to go Yakima, Spokane, Reno, Oakland, and then Eureka, and then back home. And then in June, Picket Line and Eep-Oop are playing the Capitol Radio Day in Olympia, who is put on by Chaz from Storm Boy.
Mm-hmm.
So we're excited to play that. And and then we're gonna play a show at the end of May with our friends in Wake of Humanity. Awesome. I think it's gonna be part of their, I think, record release weekend. But me and Chris from Wake of Humanity have been friends for over a decade, and we've kept on trying to get our bands to play together, and one just never can. And so we finally made it work. So I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, I've really been enjoying those Wake of Humanity, the new singles off of the upcoming album.
Yeah, they're hard.
Yeah. So funny you mentioned Capitol Radio Day, because the announcements the first wave of announcements are actually they're already out now by the time this interview airs. But Chaz gave that to me to do the band announcements for Capitol Radio Day.
Yeah, I did ask Chaz like a couple weeks ago if I was like, hey, like when's that gonna be announced? Because I'm gonna go on with Jeremy. Can I spill the beans? Like this is not the announcement, but yeah, he's like, yeah, it'll be announced by that. So don't think you can't say anything.
Yeah. So the first wave of announcements was the previous episode from this one, and the final wave of announcements will be on this episode, I believe, which is April 13th.
All right. Who'd you interview for that one?
That would be Zoe from Fatal Femmes.
All right.
Yeah, that was a really cool interview. Have you seen Fatal Femmes?
I haven't. I've seen them on flyers, but I have not seen them play yet.
They're actually at Tree Fort right now, which is really cool.
Sick.
Yeah. So kind of to wrap this up, is a new question that I've been throwing at people. What gives you hope, if anything does?
I think it's the personal relationships that I have. I think also too. I said this recently at a show. I'm so hopeful right now in the Seattle punk and hardcore scene right now. Like so many bands are sounding different, yet like we're hanging out with each other. We know each other by name. Like we're on text threads. We're all talking to each other, and um it's a real community. Like yeah, bird scene doesn't justify, I think, what's going on in Seattle music right now. We definitely have a community, and that's definitely given me hope. Because man, I've had Picket Line's been playing a little over a year and a half, and the the community around us and around other bands right now is just so hopeful and great. I love it.
Yeah.
What gives you hope, Jeremy?
Um, the kids.
Yeah.
Honestly, like Gen Z right now, and my own kids, who are now grown. They're 19 and 22. But just
One
you
of
know, they're,
which one's doing the photography?
that would be my oldest son, Joey.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's great.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm really proud of him. He's just since we started going to shows together, he just decided that he wanted to do photography. He's always kind of been into photography, but never really like focused on it.
Yeah.
And then after a while, he's just like, hey, I'm going to start taking pictures of shows. And he started doing that. And he started meeting other photographers, meeting bands, and it's just really taken off, and it's so fucking fun to watch. But yeah, what gives me hope is the kids, my kids and their generation and the kids coming up after them that have they've been dealt like the roughest hand, like way more than even we were dealt. And I thought, Gen X had it bad, but I mean, these kids, like COVID fucked everything up for adolescents, for, teenagers, for those like rites of passage and important milestone moments in their youth. It just threw a fucking curveball at all of them. And somehow they are, still growing to be these, for the most part, just these amazing people that have seen what we've done and what our parents had done and realize the mistakes and are rejecting kind of the norms and the rejecting the ultra capitalist lifestyle and rejecting the idea of competitive living and stuff, and really just kind of like embracing this new idea of we need to be conscious of what we're doing and who's around us and what's around us, and recognizing trauma and moving on from things. Like, we were never given those, our parents were never given those tools, but I feel like the kids now have a bigger and better toolbox than anybody before them for dealing with their own personal shit and with societal issues.
You're right. The youth right now, I like how much they're just owning themselves. I think that's great.
Yeah. And that's something that I'm constantly thinking about, is like generational issues and like passed down trauma and learned behavior and stuff, and just how different my childhood was from what my kid's childhood is, and not in that stupid cliche way of, oh, well, we were outside playing all day, oh,
You were,
little
you were
dirt won't
drinking from
hurt.
you were drinking from a hose.
Yeah, which is true. I was, but it's not like those are glory days. It's not like, well,
Yeah.
I did it and I came out okay, so you need to do it too. Like, no, like that's just fucking stupid. Like,
Oh,
no,
God,
I want my kids to have a better experience than I did, and
Yeah.
not that I want them to suffer because I had to suffer. Like that was like my parents' mentality, or like their parents' mentality was like, oh, you have to go through all those fucked up things as a kid to grow. It's like, no, you don't. Like, you don't have to start drinking at 12 years old. You don't have to,
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely not.
So that's what gives me hope, is that that generational trauma and that passed down bad behavior is, the cycle is breaking, and these kids are breaking it.
I think a lot of my friends with kids now, who are in their early 40s or so, they're all, and they'll have the same outlook on life and the current times we're living in, and they're more just like, I want to make sure my kid has an optimistic outlook on life for as long as possible, because life is going to come whether they have it or not. So let them let them do their thing for as long as they can, rather than, I think, like, my parents were good, but I know a lot of my friends' parents growing up were just like, you gotta start be looking at like a salary. Like, what salary do you desire? Like in high school, you got to start looking for your career and what do you want to get into. And I know a lot of people my age who resent so much of their life because of the career path they chose when they were way too young.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean that's still kind of an expectation, but I mean, as far as like my kids, like the biggest thing I wanted to present to them and give them was time and attention. Like, my parents, I mean, they were great. They weren't perfect, but it's like, sure, they provided for me, but they didn't give me what kids really need, and that's time and attention. And so, I've made sacrifices in the way of, like career opportunities and, salary advancements or whatever. I've sacrificed that in order to give my kids more time and more of myself to them, because that's what I think kids really need.
Yeah. And I think like I've never been someone who like really wanted kids. I mean, I would have been fine if they would have happened or not, but now I will say, like, now that I'm older and I see friends going to shows with their kids or their kids starting bands, I think it's literally the coolest thing you can do with your kids. That definitely gives me a hope.
Yeah, that's a big part of what my kind of mission is with Grit City Punk, is to kind of bring the kids and the adults together in the same building to enjoy music, because it's so much can be shared and so much can be learned both ways. I mean, kids can learn obviously a lot from adults, and people that have been in the scene for a long time, but us old heads have so much to learn from the kids, and punk has always been about the youth. It's been driven by the youth. And I think a lot of the older people forget that, and they complain about, oh, kids today don't know what punk is, and they don't play the music right, and punk died in 77, and all this just ridiculous talk.
It's such a stupid argument. Like, the thing is like, you stopped listening to bands in 77, or you stopped listening at Rancid's Out Come the Wolves. You never listened to what came after that, and that's fine, but they made albums, for other people and younger people. And again, it's one of those things, like, you don't have to have an opinion about stuff. You can be just an observer of things and, accept it. Accept people are having a good time without you. Stop trying to gatekeep stuff.
Yeah. 100%. because I mean, what we see as punk as our definition, or what we think is the right way to play music or have shows, like that's just based on our own experience. But the kids today have their own experiences and they have their own drive and own opinions. And punk has always been a movement of the youth. It's a political and societal movement of the youth, of rebellion. And, and we should be lucky to be involved in it still. You know,
I think one of a testament of what you just said about punk being part of the youth, you know, especially when the Trump administration started, you only heard old people or old punk say that Trump is punk. You never heard young people.
I've never heard anybody say that. What the fuck?
No. I mean, if you go into the internet, you'll see that it's like, oh, you know, conservatism is the new punk and stuff like that.
God.
You're only hearing old gatekeepers, old losers, to be honest, say this. You're never hearing young people say that.
No, because punk is progressive by nature. It's accepting and it's open-minded by nature. And the whole idea, not just of punk, but of like rock music in general, is of a moving forward, of a, you know, detaching yourself from what was done in the past and making something new. And that does not exist within any kind of conservative ideology. It's impossible. It's the complete opposite.
No, you can't look at art in a conservative mindset if you're asking me.
Hey, kids.
Hey, Dad.
What do you want to do today?
We don't know.
Do you want to go to the matinee?
No.
Do you want to go to the amusement park?
No.
Do you want to go to the punk rock show?
Yeah, let's go to the punk rock show.
That was I Hate Therefore I Am from the new Picket Line album, which again comes out this coming Friday. You can get vinyl at their shows, and you can get the album streaming anywhere, as well as Bandcamp, this Friday, the 17th. Now, onto our concert calendar. As I mentioned previously, this would be kind of abridged. I didn't bring up as many as I would normally, but there's a reason for that, and I'll tell you the reason when I get to it. So, starting with April 15th, this Wednesday, at the Wild Child in Olympia is Abby Jean and the Shadow Band with Star Matriarch and Slideshow Vision. That's an all-ages show at the Wild Child on Wednesday the 15th. On Thursday the 16th at Real Art is A Quiet Life, Nothing Land, Eva, Sunbathe or Die, and Kapala. And this is, I think, the second show with Kapala's new drummer, who is actually Henry from Sunbathe or Die. So that's cool. They're playing together, and it should be a really cool show. The next day, Friday the 17th, also at Real Art, is Chuck Vibes, Huli Jing, Stormboy, and Sunbathe or Die. Again, 2 days in a row. How about that? That should be a really killer show. On Saturday the 18th at Slice of Life is a benefit for the Kitsap Immigration Assistance Center. This is a big show featuring Sam Corey, Fuck, Marry, Kill, The Unsundered, Hills and Valleys, Fishy Mushroom, 15 Stitches, and Sidework. Now, Sidework is a new band that you've never heard of before, and that's because it's my new band. Yes, that's right, I have a new band. And it features my kids, Joey on bass and Jake on drums. And this is going to be our first show, so be nice to us. That is at Slice of Life on Saturday the 18th. On Sunday the 19th is Black Punx, Toxic Tears, Cassie, and Heist at Real Art. Then the following weekend on April 24th, Friday, at Slice of Life is a Grit City punk rock show. This one is called Bring Da Ruckus. It features Caps Lock, Truancy, Kids on Fire, Cassie, and MFD. That is a punk hip hop showcase that will be at Slice of Life on the 24th. That is a Grit City punk rock show. So everybody needs to turn up and show up there because it's going to be a rad show. On Saturday, the 25th at Quality Flea Center in Seattle is Caps Lock, The Maya Experience, The Day Before We Met Actress, and The Hobby. That should be a really rad show as well. So that's our concert calendar. Last episode, I gave you the first 10 announced bands for Capital Radio Day, which takes place June 6th in Olympia. Now I've got the final band announcements for Capital Radio Day right here, exclusive from Olympia. We've got Twin Victims, also the Prophets from Olympia, Stella J and the Monkeys in Love from Olympia, Picket Line from Seattle, Riot Orgy from Bremerton, Stumblebum from Portland, Sneer, yes, that's right, Sneer, from Seattle, Slow Division from Olympia, Muscle Cats from Portland, and Los Mal Hablados from Portland. So there is your Capital Radio Day band listing. That is going to be incredible. You can buy tickets online right now for like $25. That will get you access to all venues, all bands for the entire day. It's a hell of a deal. Absolutely no reason why you shouldn't show up. Support the Olympia scene and all the bands coming up from out of town to play it. It's going to be a hell of a show. I will be there and it will be awesome. So hopefully I will see you there as well. That's in June. All right, everybody, that's the show for this episode. Thanks for listening. Make sure that you are subscribed on your preferred podcasting platform of choice. And remember, I have a playlist to accompany it on Apple and Spotify. Check out the YouTube page where you can also find the podcast, as well as live clips from local bands. Make sure that you're following the bands that I've talked about. Picket Line has the new album coming this Friday. Make sure to check that out. It's going to be really rad. Out on Friday. Check out Ryan's other band, Eep-Oop. Their album called Sorry came out a few months ago. It's really rad. And with that, I just want to make sure that everybody, is taking care of each other. Take care of yourselves. Stay hydrated. Respect your local venues. And that means also that if the venue owner says don't tag in our bathrooms, don't tag in their bathrooms, because this isn't a fucking Walmart. It's a local venue owned and operated by people that care about the venue and care about the kids and the scene. So don't be disrespectful. And with that, I'm going to leave you with a song from Calamity Jane, a band that hopefully you know about. They were a Riot Girl band from very early 90s out of Portland. They are reuniting for the first time with their original lineup for the Metapunkapalooza show that's happening June 27th in Portland. They are also playing with Berserk and Grizzly. So I'm going to play a song from Calamity Jane right now. This song is called Olympia. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, drink water, and destroy patriarchy.
This has been a Jiggle Down Productions production.
So thanks for coming on the show. This was an awesome conversation, and I'm very grateful for you to join me on it.
I'm grateful. You got back to me when I asked to be on here to talk about that album.
So honestly, you were already on the list, so it was just a matter of sure I can fit you in now instead of a few months from now.
Yeah. So. I love what you do with the Grit City Punk. I've heard some great interviews you've done. Oh, a band you did the interview with, I've seen live. I think I sent her a message when I saw her, but Star Matriarch, that was a band that I didn't know until you showed them. I don't know if it was the interview or you just shared music, but it's stuff like that. Like people, please be listening to everything. There's so many bands out there especially in your local scene. So shout out to Star Matriarch. That I saw them at Baba Yaga with someone's daughter, and they ruled.
Yeah, shout out forever to Star Matriarch. Carol is like a huge reason why this show is the way it is and why I keep going. She cold called me like very early on. I think I'd only put out like 2 episodes, maybe 3. She DM'd me and was just like, "Hey, I've got new music coming up. Can you feature it on the show?" And I was like, "I don't even know who you are." But I was just like, sure.
Like, hell yeah, like be a doer like her. Like,
yeah. And
no one's gonna do this for you.
Exactly. So. And my condition for it was, I will feature your music, but can you give me a recording of what punk means to you? And she did, and it fucking blew my mind.
You know what? I actually think that's the first one I heard.
Yeah.
That's the first time I heard Star Matriarch.
Yeah. And I was just like, holy shit. Like, a week ago, I didn't know who you were, and now I think I want you to be my best friend. So, so huge shout out, Carol from Star Matriarch. Cool. Now, if you can give me an intro, if you can take a couple of tries at it.
Yeah. This is Ryan from Picket Line and Eep-Oop. Fuck your boss. You're listening to Grit City Punk.
Fuck your boss.
Fuck your boss.
Fuck your boss. I don't even think you need to do it again, but you can if you want.
Yeah, it's good. I'm good with it.
Yeah, me too.
I've been thinking about that one for a while.